Today I want to talk about something that is technically true and technically not true depending on how you want to look at it based on a story. And yes, there will technically be spoilers. I will talk about a little bit of what's ahead, maybe in season 3 and 4 territory. Don't know if we'll ever get that, but hell, I never thought we would get a season 2. But look at us now. And the reason why I want to talk about How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is because it is one of my favorite light novels because it has a lot of good content. Also, shout out to the video that's my most popular on the channel right now. I did think how powerful or how strong Diablo's Ring would give me a little bit of a view uptick because it's a very popular series running right now, but I never expected to get 700 views. All honestly, I expected it to get 100 or 150 views. That's how much I expected to do. But I'm very thankful. I just wanted to say that I am very thankful, and I wanted to give everybody a shout out who watched the video. If you have yet to watch the video, please watch the video in the link in the description below, or have it as one of the cards. Thank you. Diablo does get very strong in the series later based on levels and gear, but I'm not going to talk about that too much. What I do want to talk about right now is that he technically got a downgrade, and how did he get a downgrade? If you remember in episode 5, he saves, well, Horn, one of the weakest characters in the group, but she gets stronger later on in a way. Horn was dying of hypothermia, so what he did was he started a fire with everything but his pants. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. Holy crap, he got rid of his freaking cape. That was the coolest cape. Oh my god. So what did he burn exactly? Well, he burnt his cape and he burnt his shirt, but the shirt doesn't give me an exact description of its abilities, but I'll talk about its abilities and stats overall later. His cape is called the Curtain of Dark Clouds. Its effect from the Wikia is it prevents bad statuses. If an attack would decrease the HP to 0, it instead would leave 1 HP. One of the biggest things is preventing bad statuses. I mean, this guy could walk into, a field of poison or just a field of paralysis or whatever, and he literally would be okay. It, freaking negates, bad status effects. This guy won't get cold. This guy won't get too hot. But now since he got rid of it to save Horn, who's a rabbit, and I bet she's... Never mind, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to get demonetized. No, but I mean, yeah, seriously, bad status effects. Oh my god, whenever I play a JRPG, I always give, the healer, or, maybe, the rogue, who's not as strong as they should be, bad ailment, prevention abilities, or whatever. In Fire Emblem, I remember giving some girls... healers, some rings, so then they can go through bad wasteland and not get poisoned. But he's just yeah, I'm just gonna save a girl. Okay, whatever you say, Demon Lord. Why would you get rid of that damn cape? I mean, also, it's a focus stash from Pokemon, and if I was going to get murked completely, I would at least have 1 HP, and then my horns on the top of my head would auto heal. But I mean, a focus stash, bro, you could live with 1 HP. You would be hurt. Anybody would be hurt. And we could see in the episode, I think it was 3, where Diablo almost got completely murked as his heart was crushed. He lived with 1 HP. That cape is super good. Like I said before, his shirt didn't give me an exact description, but from what I remember reading the story, it was just a boost in attack and defense. One of the major things he lost, which is his equipment that he did not burn up, was his staff. The Staff of Tenma, a staff that increases the INT, or intelligence, of a player and shortens chant time. This is probably one of the most powerfulest things that it could ever have in a video game or in an isekai style example. In Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Rudy knows how to cast magic without a chant. Except healing magic, he needs a chant with healing magic, but that's because he doesn't know how the body entirely works. But, with magic, he can have a good imagination and shoot fireballs and boom, super duper fast and super duper strong. So, in How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, if Diablo could just, shoot a fireball, or when he did Absolute Zero in episode 3 and versus episode 5, he just said Absolute Zero, and then in the episode 5, he had to say something of sort of, or was it episode 6? It was episode 5 or 6, but he had to say something along the lines of, like, return to a place that's frozen in time or whatever, absolute zero. It's like, 3 or 4 seconds could mean, like, a huge difference in, like, an actual battle scenario. I can remember playing WoW with my brother back in the day, and I was a sorcerer, and I remember when I was trying to help him in a quest, I was doing like a big, huge spell, but it took like 10 seconds to cast, and when it was like 3 seconds left, or it was like 2 seconds left before I could throw an attack, I got interrupted because someone dealt me damage. I say someone, but it was like an NPC or a monster. So I mean, that's like huge. Shortening casting times is just huge overall. So what did he gain from his treasury? Well, his staff is cool, his new one, but let me tell you the gist of it. Tyranno Emperor, it's hard for me to pronounce, sorry, a black magic staff. Diablo can mentally command it to transform into a blade. Afterwards, the staff opens up in the middle like of a pair of scissors, with the left and right side forming a blade with a gap in the middle that has a purple lightning effect, or, purple lightning in general, or just like magic, whatever, running through it. That shapes into a plasma blade made of light. After equipping the blade, it adds a Liberator to its name, so it'd be Tyranno Emperor Liberator. The weapon has an effect that activates magic or attacks sevenfold at a cost of extra expensing of mana, MP, or SP, which is probably like special points from like Shield Hero, but that's probably for like warriors or whatever. So yes, in that episode, the spells were powerful. 7 times to be exact. But I think from the story, it consume 7 times the MP, or something close to 7 times the MP. That's huge for a sorcerer. I mean, yes, it's strong. You can have 7 times the effects of a spell, but 7 times the mana consumption. That's why before he started going ballistic, he took like 7 or 8, I forgot to count how many they were, but he took 7 or 8 like potions before he went into battle. So like, that's why he consumed so much. It wasn't just because like he needed that extra one to cast more spells. To cast the amount of spells he did that were 7 times fold, he had to have 7 times the amount of MP in reserve. This item he got was technically, I think, a one-time use thing, but I think it was also said to be a one-time use per day thing. But he got an Angel's Feather. It would transfer the user's entire party to any location. Also, you can just use the spell Return. It just costs MP. And if this is a once per day sort of item, then maybe you can use it in between returns just to save mana, because you don't want to transport a lot of people with all that mana. But, if it is only a one-time use, it would be used in very specific scenarios, like what actually happened, because maybe you couldn't return your entire party of 7. Maybe the limit would be like 4 or whatever. That's how most MMOs are. You can only have like 4 people in a party in your main party, but if you're doing a raid, that could be like 3 or 4 parties put together, and there would be like one group leader. I don't know if his new clothes that he wears is this, so this is technically a spoiler warning just in case, but his Gigantes Mail armor that permanently strengthens his physical abilities. That's his next best gear that he got. And then a Call of Darkness, a mantle that bestows fear on all enemies. Alright, so I just want to explain rarity systems, common through rare, through super rare, through super rare, or like I think 3S, this is, and R sometimes is what some games have. But, common gear is things anybody can get. Rare gear is what a lot of people can get, but it's, hard to get because it's rare. Super rare means it's like a super low drop, like maybe 1 to 5%. And then an SSR usually is one-time items, sometimes in games, or it's like a 0.05 percentage to actually drop. That damn dog is outside. I can't do anything about it if you hear it. But his new gear that he has is roughly rare to SSR. Only because the Demon Lord's ring is an SSR and he didn't lose that, and his SS, I think it's an SR, is his horns. But his new stuff, the only thing that's SR, I think, would be his cape, the one that's like the Mantle of Fear, but everything else, like his shirt and pants. The Gigantes mail is technically a rare item. The Tyranno Emperor is, I think, an SR, but it's not the best weapon. It's an SR from a rare, from what I remember. The reason why I think it's a rare is because, the 7 times and the 7 times MP consumption is probably not the best. I could be wrong with the gear, of course. I'm not 100% expert. The Wikia doesn't give me all the information, so it's not easily explainable to tell you, because my information's kind of all jumbled around. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I made a 5-minute video into a 10 to 12, 15-minute video. I apologize. But I just wanted to give my opinions on why he technically got a downgrade, but overall, he kind of is somewhat to where he was originally at.